Hello, everybody. My name is Halo. Welcome back to this series where we're dealing with programming and design patterns in Python. Today, we're going to be dealing with a very interesting topic called comprehensions, which is a feature we have in Python and something that you can use right now to make your job a lot easier. So, what are comprehensions? Let's say I have a list and I want to create this list as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And I will just go ahead and print this list. Okay. Now, Python 3.10, yeah, you can see that our list is now printed. Now, this I've created, it's only 6 elements, so I can type this manually. Let's say I have 9, 10 elements. That is also something that I can type manually. What if my list has 100 elements and I want to create from 1 to 100? Well, it'll take a long time. You can create that manually also, technically. What if I have 1,000 elements? What if I have 10,000 elements? That becomes a problem, doing it manually. So how will you do this better? Well, I'll create an empty list. Then what I'll do, I will go and type a for loop for I in a range of 1 to 100, 1,000, let's say 1,000 elements. I will go ahead and list dot append of I. Okay, once this is done, let me just go ahead and print this list. And this, you can see all the elements from 1 to 1,000 are actually created here. Okay, is there a way I can simplify this? I want the same functionality, but in a better way. Can you do that? Yes, that is where list comprehensions come in. So rather than me adding this code right here, I can just do I for I in range of 1 to 1,000. Okay, so what I'm telling Python is create a list and every element in the list should be I, where I is in a for loop in range 1 to 1,000. I run this, you can see that the same thing runs. And actually change this to maybe something smaller to show you that it actually changes. It says 1 to 9. I am creating a list comprehension here. This is a comprehension and the data type is a list. Therefore, this is something that I'd call as a list comprehension. List comprehension. Okay, now let's deal with this a bit more. Now, let's deal with another case. Comprehension using another list. Can we do that? Yes. Okay, let's say I have a first list as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now let's say I want to create a second list, and this I'll say I for I in LST1. That's it. And this is the same thing that I'll create in for loop. I want to copy this list into another list, say, for example. I'm going to loop over this list one and every element I'll append. Instead of that, I can just do for I in LST1, create that I as an element of this. Now I go ahead and print LST2. You can see that this one comes here. Why this is very important is you can actually use conditions in all of this. So you can do list comprehension using conditions. And let me change something better. So instead of here, I'm going to go ahead and say I for I in range. I'll say 1 to 100, but I want only the even elements. Okay. So I'll add an if statement here. If I percentage 2 equal to 0. That's it. So we have simplified what this would look like is you'd say for I in range this, and then you would go inside here, and then you'd say if I percentage 2 is 0. This is the modular division operator. And then I'll say in that particular case, just do list dot append of I. And that's how we used to create that. Well, using list comprehensions, you can simplify this even further. Now, if I go ahead and print this, you can see that it only prints all of the even numbers, which is awesome. Now, what if I have multiple condition? Okay, and how will that look like? Well, multiple conditions, the same list. I am going to go ahead and print this list. Okay, so here I have all the even elements. Yes, what if I want all the elements which is only divisible by 2 and divisible by 3? Okay, in that case, I'll do and I'll say I modulo 3 equal 0. If you print this, you can see that only the elements from 6, 12, 18 and everything that which is divisible by 2 and 3 are formed in this list. So I can add two conditions here. And since I have and here, I can actually add or also. Or I'll say I is less than 10. You can see 1 to 10 is printed. From there, only the common numbers are printed. So this is how list comprehension works. It's a very simple concept. So we start off with what comprehensions are, how you create this basic list comprehension. You can also use that with other list elements or other iterable elements. Then how do you use list comprehensions with conditions? Something like that. And this list comprehensions are not limited to just numbers, people. So you can actually say something like I for I in A B C D E F G H I J K L M N. Okay, for example, and I want to create a list of all the alphabets. Well, there you go. That's as simple as that. So you can use these things, you can iterate over strings, and that is how good list comprehensions are. You can also add conditions here. If I dot is upper, for example, you can see nothing comes because all of these are lowercase, right? If I take one as the higher case, you can get that. But also, yeah, this is something that you can quickly use to just create these lists a lot easier rather than me having to go ahead and write out lengthy for loops. Now, this is list comprehensions, but we also have dictionary comprehensions. And actually, I'll add that as a title, dictionary comprehensions. And that works very similar to how we have list comprehension. Now, I have a set of names and a set of ages. I want to map this one-on-one to a dictionary. So I call the dictionary D. How do I create a dictionary comprehension? So I'll say key value for key, comma, value in zip of names, comma, age. What this zip means, it basically changes this into a tuple mapping this one-on-one. I'm going to iterate over that, and from there I'm going to extract this key and value, use that to create my dictionary. How all of this looks like, you can see that this is created. Well, that is awesome. Okay, can I use conditions as well, just like in list comprehensions? The answer is yes, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this here, same as before, but instead I'm going to create some light changes. So I'll say if my key value is not equal to Morris, I'll say and let's say the age is not equal to 1. So age is what we're calling value here. So I'll say the value is not equal to 1. Let's go ahead and print our dictionary. You can see that only Jake 2, Michael 3, Jude 4, Morris is ignored because key Morris, we're saying if the key is Morris, don't go ahead and create that key value pair. And we're saying if the age is 1 also, don't go ahead and create the key value pair. So these two values, this John 1 and Morris 5 is skipped. And that's something that we're doing using conditional in dictionary comprehensions. Now, dictionary comprehensions, list comprehensions in general for Python is a really, really useful tool that you can use in your day-to-day development and coding. So yeah, this is something that you guys can practice more. You can do a lot of functionality also. So instead of me just doing I can actually do something like I plus 10 also. So that will give me, see, 12, 14, 16, 18. So you can add here also, you can add a lot of value. It does not have to be just I. It can have anything. You can add functions on top of that, and you can use data from existing lists, ranges, strings, any iterables, basically. So it's a very interesting tool where you can play around with it a lot and you can save a lot of time coding. So I hope you got a bit of this. Now all of this code will be available in her GitHub repository, link in the description. I do hope this video helped you provide some clarity about what comprehensions are in Python. If it did, hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Until then, bye.